Welcome to the deep dive. You know, it's funny how sometimes content just kind of finds you. Not because you're like actively searching everywhere, but maybe because on some subtle level, you're actually ready for it.
Yeah, like a quiet signal and all the noise.
Exactly. A little nudge saying, hey, maybe pay attention to this. And that's really what we're getting into today. The big question is, what does it actually mean when you feel that, that subtle pull towards something different?
Right, that feeling that you've kind of outgrown things.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you even start to navigate that? Because it often feels, messy and uncertain, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
And for this deep dive, we've got some really interesting source material. We're looking at excerpts from the transcript of a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
It's called If This Video Found You, You're Ready, from the channel Key. And it really explores that whole feeling of self-discovery, that quiet shift.
Okay, interesting. So our mission then is to unpack those subtle signs Key talks about, the ones that suggest maybe we're outgrowing where we are.
Right. And also look at what holds us back, the barriers.
And hopefully find some, actionable ways to move towards a life that feels a bit more authentic. All based on what Key shares in this video.
Exactly. Finding those nuggets of wisdom.
So let's kick things off with that foundational idea from Key. If this video found you, it's because on some level you're ready. But Key also says you might still be caught in the rhythm of your days going through the motions. So it's not about feeling perfectly ready.
No, not at all. And that's what's so powerful. He kind of redefines readiness here. It's not about being totally prepared or fearless.
Okay.
It's more about noticing that small voice inside, or maybe what Key calls a quiet ache or a strange heaviness.
Even when nothing's obviously wrong on the outside.
Precisely. Even when everything looks fine. And Key frames this not as weakness or being ungrateful, but actually as awareness.
Awareness. Huh.
Yeah, like the first crack in the surface where the truth can finally get in. It's like your intuition is finally getting loud enough to be heard, even if you've ignored it before.
And it's easy to ignore, right? Key points out that most people live their entire lives never questioning the invisible patterns they're caught in.
That wake up, work, consume, rest cycle.
It's so easy to fall into that. Why do you pattern?
Well, society kind of reinforces it, doesn't it? It's the expected path. But Key suggests that feeling lost is the first sign that you've outgrown the place you've been living in, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
So feeling lost isn't failing, it's growing.
Yeah, it's actually a sign of growth. And sometimes it takes something like this video finding you or a particular conversation to be that thing that breaks through.
The thing that makes you realize
that the way you've been living wasn't the only option, that you've maybe been on autopilot.
Right, autopilot. That really hits home.
And the source says, crucially, you can take the wheel.
Which sounds great, very empowering. But why do we stay on autopilot for so long?
He brings up a really key point. The world is loud. There's just constant noise, right? Pulling our attention everywhere, telling us where to look, how to feel, what to care about. It drowns out our own inner voice.
And it connects to how we measure ourselves, too, doesn't it?
Totally. We're pushed to measure our worth in numbers, like followers, productivity, paychecks.
All the external metrics.
Exactly. And Key's insight is that those numbers were never designed to reflect the real you. Chasing them actually pulls you away from yourself.
Key uses that great analogy, too. Feeling that misalignment, that quiet pull towards something more. It's like wearing clothes that looked fine in the store, but somehow never feel comfortable once you're home.
Well, that's good.
And the point is, it's not you that's the problem, it's the fit. That really shifts things, takes the self-blame out of it.
Absolutely. It's liberating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of what's wrong with me, it becomes, okay, this situation, this way of being, it just doesn't fit who I actually am anymore.
Right. It focuses on alignment, not fixing yourself.
Exactly.
But, okay, you feel the bad fit, the misalignment. The natural instinct, as Key says, is often to back away from actually changing.
Because the unknown feels scarier than staying the same.
We're wired for comfort, for predictability.
Our brains prefer the familiar path, so that fear isn't like a character flaw. It's just how we're built, really.
But Key challenges that.
Yeah, with this idea that change isn't always something we choose gracefully. Sometimes it's something we're often dragged into piece by piece until we have no choice but to stand in it fully, which leads to the question, what if we actually chose to listen now, to engage with that discomfort instead of waiting for life to kind of force your hand?
You don't need all the answers first either. Key says you don't have to have every answer or know exactly.
Right, just get curious.
Just become curious enough to step off the track and then ask that, what would my life look like if I...
That's a powerful question.
But trying to answer it, you will start.
And that's where Key brings it back to something simple. The starting point doesn't start with giant leap. It starts with noticing.
Noticing. Okay. Sounds easy, but noticing what exactly?
Well, Key gives some really concrete examples, like the way your chest tightens when you agree to something you don't want to do.
Ah, okay. physical cues.
Yeah, or noticing how different your energy feels after you've spent time with certain people, both the negative and the positive.
The positive, too.
Absolutely. Noticing the little sparks of joy or peace that show up when you least expect them. These aren't just random feelings. He says they're clues.
Clues.
Like a map. Exactly. They form a map showing you what aligns with your true self and what pulls you away from it.
Which brings us back to being present, right? He talks about the importance of presence right here, right now.
Because we get caught in that trap of waiting, don't we?
Yeah, waiting until we're perfect to start living. Telling ourselves, oh, once I feel confident or once I feel ready, then I'll do the thing.
Right. But Key hits us with the truth. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready.
So, okay, you start noticing, you start waking up from these patterns. Key says that can feel deeply unsettling.
Yeah, because you see that gap between the life you've been tolerating and the life you actually want.
That gap can feel huge, discouraging, maybe.
It can, but Key reframes it. That gap isn't failure. It's actually an invitation. It's proof that you're capable of more.
An invitation.
It highlights how maybe we've been holding back, saying yes when we mean no, or dimming our own light because we're scared.
Scared of what? Making waves, not fitting in.
Yeah, all of that, which leads to that really powerful declaration from Key.
Which one?
If you've been waiting for that permission, this is it.
Wow.
You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove yourself worthy. You just have to decide that your life matters enough to you to live it in a way that's honest.
That hits hard. It takes the power back, puts it squarely inside you.
Completely.
Huh.
And Key's definition of honest is key here, too. It doesn't mean perfect. Right.
Honest means human. Honest means sometimes messy, sometimes uncertain, sometimes scared, but still showing up anyway.
Being real, not perfect.
Exactly. Showing up as you are.
Okay, so then Key reveals the truth that no one tells you. That the moment you start living in alignment with what's real for you, even in the smallest ways, the world shifts. That sounds almost magical. But how does it work practically?
Well, Key suggests some tangible outcomes. You start attracting people who meet you where you actually are.
And not the old version of you.
Right. You start noticing opportunities you were too distracted to see before. And maybe you have that big realization.
That you weren't actually stuck.
Yeah, that you were never really stuck. You were just standing in a room with the door wide open thinking it was locked.
Wow. Shifting from a life that just looks good on paper
to one that actually feels right in your bones.
And this brings us back around to discomfort again, doesn't it?
It does. He really emphasizes that discomfort is just a space between who you were and who you're becoming. The transition zone.
Right. And that space, as uncomfortable as it is where the real transformation.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling it.
It doesn't mean you're broken.
No. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're waking up.
That's such a reassuring thought. And Key also reminds us that we already have what we need inside.
Yeah, saying right now you are carrying the raw material for a completely different life.
And that includes the good and the bad.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every memory, every lesson, every mistake, every small moment where you chose courage over comfort.
But we don't usually see it that way, do we?
No. Key points out we rarely stop to take inventory of what we already have. We're always looking outside, chasing the next thing.
Forgetting our own history.
Forgetting that we've survived things we thought would break us. That resilience, that strength isn't something you find out there. It's something you build piece by piece in the middle of the storm.
It's already within us. We just need to wreck it.
Exact. Take inventory.
And what about fear? It always comes. Key says something interesting about it.
That fear is not the enemy. Fear is just an invitation to step into something bigger.
So lean into it. Don't run from it.
Kind of, yeah. See it as a signpost for where growth lies. Because honestly, think about the big moments in life.
Yeah.
Key points out they're often not the perfectly planned things. They're the unexpected conversations, the risks you didn't think you were ready for, the times you acted before you could talk yourself out of it.
Huh, yeah, that's true. Acting before the fear fully kicks in.
Exactly. Change often happens in those spontaneous moments of courage.
And it doesn't have to be huge, right? He reassures us that transformation doesn't mean rebuilding everything overnight. No dramatic gesture needed.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most powerful change is quiet.
Quiet change.
Like what?
Like choosing to speak your truth in a conversation where you'd normally stay silent. That's huge, internally.
Or saying no.
Yes. Saying no to something that drains you. Or even just giving yourself an hour of your own attention. These little things, small moments matter. They create a ripple. But what if other people don't like this new, more authentic you? Key mentions people who prefer the version of you that kept your head down.
That's a real challenge, for sure. It can be painful.
Yeah.
But Key offers a powerful perspective. Your life is not meant to fit inside someone else's comfort zone.
That's bold.
It is. And the idea is that the people who are meant to walk with you will rise to meet the version of you that's more alive.
And those who aren't, maybe they fall away.
It can happen. Letting go is hard. Key acknowledged that. But growth will always change the landscape of your life, including relationships sometimes. It's about making space for what truly resonates now.
Wow. Okay, so we've really covered a lot here. From that first quiet ache, that feeling of outgrowing.
To embracing the discomfort that comes with change.
And realizing the power isn't in some huge, but often in those small, quiet, honest choices. Noticing, listening, deciding.
Yeah, consciously taking the wheel, even if it's just turning it slightly at first.
So as we wrap up, what's a final thought from Key's message that you think people really carry with?
There's a line about the cracks in the version of reality.
Okay.
And how through those cracks, light is coming. I think that's a really potent image.
Seeing the cracks not as flaws, but as open.
Exactly. So maybe the question to ponder is, what are those cracks for you right now? Where is the light trying to get in?
And how can you consciously invite more of that?
Yeah, not just to see what's wrong, but as Key suggests, to remind you of what's possible when you start living from that more authentic place.
A reminder of possibility. That's a great place to leave it. We really invite you to continue your own personal deep dive with these ideas. Apply them, see what resonates on your own path. Until next time, keep noticing those whispers.